right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Redevelopment Commission meeting on March the 6th, 2023. First item of business is roll call.
Deb Hutton here.
Randy Cassidy here.
Cindy Canarney here. Staff present.
John Sody with the hand department remotely.
Christina Finley, hand department.
Alex Crowley, Economic and Sustainable Development.
Chris
Excellent.
Wheeler with the City Legal Department.
All right.
Pinch hitting for Larry tonight. My understanding is he is in London, so he can't be here tonight.
Welcome. All right, next item of business is reading of the minutes for February the 20th, 2023. Do any commissioners have any comments or questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Deb Hutton, I move to approve the minutes of March 3rd, of February 20th, 2023.
I'll second.
We have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next item of business is examination of claims for March 3rd, 2023 for $191,981.79. Do any commissioners have any comments or questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Give me just a second. I will make a motion to approve as noted.
Deb Hutton, I second.
All right. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? No? Next item of business is examination of payroll registers for February 24th, 2023 for $35,571.22. Do any commissioners have any comments or questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Deb Hutton, I move to approve the payroll register February 24th, 2023 as stated.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
No one opposed? Next item of business is the report of officers and committees. Is there a director's report?
There is, Madam President, just briefly. I want to thank the commissioners and public for their input on the home ARP plan. It is now up for public comment as of today. I'm putting the link in the chat. So that's up until March 20th for public comment, and welcome any from here. But that's all my report. Thank you.
All right. Is there a legal report?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Is there a treasurer's report?
There is not. Happy to answer questions though.
All right. Thank you. Business development updates.
Two brief items. One is I wanted to update everybody that we are interviewing exploratory only potential owners rep firms for the Hopewell project. And we're just really trying to ground ourselves on what they think we need, what we think we need. And so we've had a handful of those. We have one more coming up. The open question is whether or not that owner's rep function, first of all, is needed. If so, should it report to city staff? Should it report to the 501c3? So those are open questions. But the work that's being done right now is really just to kind of figure out what are the dynamics of a project as complex as Hopewell, and to look for firms that might be able to help us fill in some of the gaps that we have in terms of staffing and expertise.
So clarification question, owner's rep, R-E-P, owner's representative?
Representative, yeah.
For all the multiplicity of owners, all the different kinds of owners?
Well, it's really
single-
on behalf of the RDC as landowner, as a developer. In effect, the RDC is kind of developing the property. Sometimes you find one master developer and they kind of run with the whole thing, but in this
Right.
case we're not doing that.
Oh, I see. So we're the owners. It's
So
not
the owner is really the RDC.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And then the other, do you have a question about that?
Well, a question in regards to the owner's rep or the 501c3. I mean, is that the new form CBICI or that we're referring to?
Yeah, the 501c3, right now is really just it's a volunteer board, right? It's met once. It's unclear exactly how heavily staffed it would be in the future and all of that. So because there's a lot of work to be done in the short term, this owner's rep function can help to augment the expertise that's on that board. If that's the board that it reports to, it'll be involved anyway. So it's really just a way to get things going.
Right.
Could be in place for several years. As you know, it's a multi-year project. So yeah.
Okay.
So given what you just said, the Hopewell project could have an owner's rep. The convention center could have an owner's rep. other big projects could have their specific thing that report to perhaps the capital board or to some other entity.
Right, or you
But
could.
this is for this project.
It's for this, for starters, for this project.
Okay.
This is the context that we're talking to them in. If it's a capable group and if it's a group that works well with the dynamics of what we have, that group could potentially take on other projects. Right now, it's trying to figure out what do we, Hopewell's front and center, and it's very
Right,
complex,
right.
and so we're trying to get to the bottom of that first.
Okay.
So, and the first thing put out, it would be through the city administration, but the RDC would be responsible for the pay, et cetera. Or is that?
That's right,
CBDS? Yeah, that's what I'm just trying to clarify where the dollars in order to take care of that.
Yeah, so, and no decision would be made until, one is selected, vetted, and then a contract would be brought to the RDC for their approval. And then the only other thing is just to give you a heads up, mostly that there's bubbling activity at Sudbury. I think we may have mentioned that before, the Sudbury area southwest of town. It's been acquired by a development company, and so we're starting the discussions about that, and you'll hear more about it as time goes on, but I wanted to plant the seed because it will inevitably make its way to the RDC at some point in some form. So just know that that's starting to happen, and we're very excited for it, and it's a long time coming.
That's great.
So,
Any questions? All right.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to new business. First item is Resolution 23-21, approval of addendum to design consultant contract for Hopewell Phase 1 East. And I'm guessing the gentleman moving up is going to talk to us about that.
Should I have been welcomed first? I'm sorry. Pat Shadurgis with the engineering department. For the Hopewell Phase 1 East project, we've discussed this previously, that the bids came in significantly higher than the engineered estimate. We have asked the design team to find value engineering options. We've worked with the administration and parks and finding the best value engineering options that didn't detract from the overall feel of the site. And so they have gone through and made those changes, updates through many different sheets, and basically a whole new reprinting of the plans, and then also new preparation of the bid documents. To do that, this was definitely outside of their contract. Our contract only had one bid in it. However, there was discussion over how the first bid went. And so this only covers a small portion of their actual cost for this rebid. But this is a portion that we have negotiated and agreed to as a partial compensation for the rework that they've had to do. The total is $23,745, making the contract new not to exceed amount for the entire project $1,108,262. Happy to answer any questions.
You said it was a sort of partial compensation for the work they've done, so why isn't it full compensation for this added piece of work they've had to do? Or how's that gonna split out to be fair to them?
They, we felt a part of, basically the initial bid had a large number of addendums. And some of those addendums were probably unforeseen because of, contractors are going to look at it a certain way and ask for some clarifications or maybe point out some small errors. However, we felt that the number of errors found and the number of addendums needed was beyond what was acceptable. And so we asked them to cover some of those costs.
Okay, thanks.
And by adding this additional thing, that gives you a complete set of prints and such to go back out and acquire more contractors to come in and bid on this, firm. They'll know what they're looking at. It'll all be straightforward, and then we just need to get a number of contractors in to give us comparative pricing.
That is 100% the goal. But they worked at risk. So they have actually already delivered a new plan set and new bid documents, and they're in review right now. And so they knew the importance of this and the importance of getting it back out to bid, and so they worked at risk as we finalized the number for this.
And do you as staff feel that the new bid, and the new contracts and agreements, whatever they put out and plans are now really well done enough, significant, appropriate, and accurate?
I got it Thursday night, and I'm maybe 20% through. I feel that they have covered a large majority of the comments, but there is a list of corrections. Our engineering department is very particular. We care very much about how things are done and how things are said and how the work will be done. So I don't believe we've ever got a bid package that we haven't changed.
On the details. And the bid package, based upon you receiving a time frame, we'll be able to get it out soon enough to get responsive bids back in a time frame that'll work with what kind of construction schedule you've got.
The current time frame is this being released on March 15th. And from what I've seen, that's still what we will be able to achieve. And so with March 15th, I don't have the exact date in front of me, but we'll have it back out on the street for about 1 month and 3 weeks.
Oh.
We're trying to play the NDOT lettings, because this project will use the large infrastructure contractors, and so they are looking at the NDOT lettings. An NDOT letting closes on March 15th, so we'd like to say, okay, we know you're done with that one, here's a new project. And then we want it to close before, so there'll be an NDOT letting in the middle, so there'll be an April letting, and then we want to give them enough time after the April letting, but before the May letting to get this bid in. So we're trying to show that we've recognized the challenges that bidding large projects like this present and give them the time to do it.
Great.
Excellent. Okay.
Any other questions on Resolution 23-21? Any comment from the public? Not hearing any, I'll entertain a motion on Resolution 23-21.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 23-21, 22.
21.
23-21, you know, on condition that staff approves the drawings as I got it.
Deb Hutton, second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Resolution passes. Next item on the agenda is Resolution 23-22. Approval of funding for tree removal for the Beeline Trail and Multi-Use Path Project.
Thank you, Madam President. Mr. Members, my name is Roy Ayton. I'm with the City Engineering Department. This is our Beeline Extension project that we're doing on the northwest corner of the town. We're rolling in towards the construction phases and the utility relocation phases. And one of the items that we have to accomplish is tree removal to clear the corridor out before, one, the utilities can come in and do their work, and also there's a bat restriction that we have to get the trees down before the Indiana bat starts to hibernate in them. So we we put out a project to have the trees removed. We opened bids on February 27th. We had 4 bidders, with our lowest responsive and responsible bidder being Bluestone Tree, which was for a bid of $48,764.20. And then they are ready to begin. We just need to get approval for the funding. The contract has been approved through the Board of Public Works, and we're here this evening just to update the project form and to get funding for the tree removal contract.
Any questions from commissioners?
Dollars coming out consolidated TIF.
I believe so. Yep.
Okay, and we've got adequate funds in there to take care of it based on the budget.
Yes. Yep.
That works. And then last question, we are going to put trees back.
Yes, there's about 50 trees that go back in. We've taken this to both the tree commission twice for the city of Bloomington. They redid our tree species, and then we've worked with the utilities, so we've got the perfect trees to go back into every place we can put one back.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Wonderful. Okay.
All right, any other questions from commissioners? Any comment from the public? All right, I'll entertain a motion for resolution 23-22.
Deb Hutton, I move to approve resolution 2322.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No one opposed? All right, thank you. Next item on the agenda is resolution 23-23, right of entry for access to the 4th Street Garage for visual art exhibition. Who'd like to speak to us?
I can speak to this.
All right.
Alex Crowley, Economic Sustainable Development. So this is a right of entry request. If you know the row of commercial spaces on the bottom of the 4th Street Garage, the southernmost space is still raw and empty. It's the corner space. The one just to the north of it is the one that's being redone for the Hoosier Fiber Networks. What we're asking for is to allow an art exhibit to occur from March 17th through, I don't have the date here. May 19th. And it's a really interesting exhibit. It's a exhibit with an Indianapolis-based art collective called One Drop. And they are going to produce an exhibition of 25 local and regional emerging artists of color. So it's a good way, and the exhibit is called Underground. It has some very high-profile Indianapolis-based artists, and we'll also have local ones, and it's a good way for our local artists to become connected with the Indianapolis-based ones. So we think it's a really good use. We've been working with RISC to make sure we can use the space adequately. There's a little trench that just needs to be covered up, but it's pretty raw, and it'll work well, and we think, we're continuing to market the space, so it'll bring a little visibility to it. There have been some nibbles, which is great, but this will be a good use of it, and it will not infringe on our ability to lease it. So we recommend doing this.
We did something similar last year, did we not?
We did do a right of entry. Yeah.
That's what I thought, in order to do that exhibit that was done last year, which went over pretty well.
Yeah, I think, and we've done it a couple of different places. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion to approve.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Any insurance concerns, Alex?
We've talked to, it is covered by insurance, so
Okay.
we were fine on that front. We did ask the question of risk to make sure.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, any public comment on resolution 23-23? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Deb Hutton, I second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
No one opposed? Resolution passes. Next item of business is resolution 23-24, a second addendum to contract for landscape Maine.
Me again, Alex Crowley, Economic Sustainable Development. One of the joys of my job is the ongoing maintenance of the Trades District. This is one of those cases. There were 2 trees that were, if you recall, you approved a tree trimming addendum to the maintenance contract that we have there. And as they were going around trimming trees, they noticed 2 were dead. One on either side of Madison, basically right where the mill is. So we got word of that about a week ago, and then the winds came through last week, if you remember, and one of them fell over. So they have provided a bid to replace the trees. One is easier because it's in an open tree lot. The other one is actually a little bit more complicated, more expensive because there are pavers, and that's the one, unfortunately, that fell down. We think it's worth doing. We'd like to see live trees there rather than dead trees, and because of the urgency of the windstorm, we just wanted to make sure we could get that done. So this is a quote. We've just rounded it up, just in case there are any surprises, but this is a quote to remove the bricks, replace the tree, put the bricks back down on the one hand, and then just replace the tree on the other hand.
Any questions from commissioners?
Well, 47,000 seems a little extensive for 2 trees and some pavers.
No, the job is 3,000, and it changes the not to exceed number.
Oh, there it is, okay. That's accurate. 3,000 just sounds just fine.
Yeah.
Like,
All
whoa,
right.
those
Had me on that one
expensive.
for a second.
Any other questions from commissioners? Any comment from the public? Not hearing any, I'll entertain a motion.
Deb Hutton, I move to approve Resolution 2324.
Randy Gasty, I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No one opposed? All right, resolution passes. Next item is Resolution 23-26, approval of amendment for final plat for Trades District Lot 2. Who'd like to talk to us regarding this?
Hello, how are you? Good.
I thought you were gonna be up
I have giant maps for you all to sign. Beth Kate, Corporation Counsel, and for the moment, Trades District Attorney, supporting attorney. So this is basically a new plat map. It's an amendment to the existing one, but it reflects a subdivision of Lot 2 in the Trades District into Lots 2A and 2B. And the purpose of doing this is twofold. One is because the tech center project that is supported by our EDA grant was identified for the northern part of Lot 2. It can be built in Lot 2A as shown on these amended maps. And that frees up another parcel, obviously, for further development consistent with the Certified Technology Plan and the plans for the Trades District generally. So what you'll see in here is that subdivision, the creation of a pedestrian easement going east-west as well, and then otherwise really unchanged. So I'm happy to try to answer any questions, and Alex may be able to as well if you've got some. Sure.
So essentially, we took Lot 2 and we just
We
made
split it.
We split it halfway in the middle, and that way, when the EDA on our bill, on what we're looking at doing, it'll only take up half of what would have been.
Yeah,
That's
when
right.
we originally at the Trades District, as we were laying out, lots and plats and that sort of thing, like there were two choices. One is to try to guess at how this was all going to break up and try to plat it that way. And the other was just be a little bit looser about it, let things happen, and then do these types of one-off replatting as we have better information. So we took the second option. So this is an expected subdivision.
Subdivision on that, and it falls within all the design criteria that we're doing on our building, which we're moving forward on. Okay.
All right. Any other questions on Resolution 23-26? Any comment from the public? All right, I'll entertain a motion on Resolution 23-26.
I'll make a motion to approve 23-26.
Deb Hutton, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And no one opposed. Resolution passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any business or general discussion tonight?
Madam President, I did want to make an addendum to my report from staff. I should have mentioned that last week we had a site visit at the Hopewell site. We did the request for information. We had a site visit for blocks 8, 9, and 10 last week. We've had a good group of developers and potential partners come to that. And so just remind everybody that proposals for that are due April 12th. So I just wanted to make that note. I should have done that at the beginning. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. Any other general discussion for tonight? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Deb Hutton, I make such a motion.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Good night, everyone.